Hello, good evening, buenas noches. I'm Carlos Guillermo Smith, su representante estatal. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. We decided that tonight we were going to do something really special. This is totally informal, but we basically decided that to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, one of the things that we wanted to do was actually cook my favorite Peruvian dish, which is Lomo Saltado. And many of you already know what Lomo Saltado is. Oh my God, I see people are commenting already. I see, oh my God, mi prima peruana, Yorka. Yorka, ¿cómo está? So my cousin from Peru is saying hello, which is great. This is really cool. I want to make sure that you all can hear me because I decided to put my AirPod in. I thought that that would make sure that you can hear me okay. And I'm being told that yes, you can hear me very well with the AirPod in. I see my other primito, Javier, ¿cómo estás? We are sending you very, very much love from Orlando. Estamos enviando mucho amor a Peru de Orlando. So we are going to get ready to do this lomo saltado. But first, I want to talk to you a little bit about first why we're doing this. So this is my favorite dish from when I was growing up, basically my favorite Peruvian dish. And what a lot of people always tell me is that they're very surprised to hear that French fries are included in this Peruvian stir fry. You're going to hear more about that. But to make absolutely sure that this is a more authentic cooking experience, we are going to have both myself and my husband, Jarek, who is going to join us here.
Yes, we're here.
Yes. So Jarek is certainly going to be joining us, and he's going to be a real big part of tonight's cooking. I'm going to be taking the lead not because Jarek doesn't know how to cook. Actually, he is a very good cook, and he does 95% of the cooking in our household. But this is a dish that I know how to prepare pretty well. And to make sure that this is as authentic as it can be, I just want to make sure that you all know that my routine when we are cooking is we are also drinking wine. And I just pulled this bottle of Cavit out of the freezer because many of you who know me know that I like my Pinot Grigio almost frozen. Almost frozen. So, and here we are. We're just going to get a little bit of a refill. Un poquito más para mi esposo Jerek. Okay, so let me actually get started first with some of the most important parts of this dish. Because what we're doing here, and I want you to see, actually, I'm going to put you back in the thing in a minute, but I want you to see what ingredients we have here so far. So what we have is, well, we're going to get ready for rice because rice is a crucial part of this dish. We're about to put the rice actually in the pot. We also have French fries, patata frita. So this is a critical part of the dish as well. And then I think it's important for folks to know that since this is a Peruvian stir fry, there are a number of different proteins that you can use. Now, lomo saltado, lomo is the steak, that's the meat. So tonight we are going to be cooking the steak, but just so that you know, you can also substitute this protein for any number of proteins that you prefer. A lot of you know that my husband Jarek is pescatarian, so he doesn't eat chicken, he doesn't eat red meat, he doesn't eat steak. And so I actually have never had a fish version of lomo saltado. So what I've done before in our kitchen is we have made tofu saltado. So you see that the tofu saltado is right here. You can just substitute whatever protein you want, but really tonight we're going to be focusing on the lomo saltado, the steak saltado, steak stir fry, beef steak stir fry. So I'm going to put you back here in my tripod so that you can see what we're going to be doing. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to show you how I like to make my rice. So the way that I usually make rice is I like my rice to be a bit soggy. Like I don't really like the harder cooked rice. I prefer for it to be nice and soft. And there's a way that I have learned how to do this. So what I have is I have 3 cups. I have 3 cups of water, and I'm doing 2 cups of the rice. So you see that we have the rice already here. So someone once told me half and half, half water, half rice is good, but for me it's not quite soft enough. It's not quite mushy enough. And so that's just my preference. So what I'm going to do here is we have some boiling water already ready. And I don't have a rice maker. I know a lot of you have a rice maker, but I'm just using just a deep pot, and I'm going to cover it. But what we're going to do first is we're going to put a little bit of salt. Let's see. For this, what we're going to do is
white rice is actually really easy to make.
white rice is super, super simple. It is super easy. It's one of the first things that I learned how to make when I was a kid.
Actually, one of my secrets, if I have to be honest, one of my secrets is I use 1/3 of a cup of water more than what I use for rice. So if I'm making 1 cup of rice, I'm gonna put 1 cup and 1/3 of a cup additional water. And that to me, it's enough to cook the rice perfectly. Just a nice tidbit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that works too. So, okay. Love you all. Mean it. Send me a text. Okay, so right now I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of salt. Listen, a lot of times, some people don't like a lot of salt. It's much, much easier, obviously, to add salt later than put too much salt. I'm also gonna put garlic. So I am a lover of garlic, and so I have a teaspoon of garlic here, which is what the recipe calls for. So my rule is always double the garlic, ingredient. So I'm gonna put actually 2 teaspoons of garlic in here. So now all the water's boiling for the rice. We salted it. We put the garlic in there, and now now that the water has come to a boil, I'm just going to go ahead and dump the rice in here, and we're going to give it a little bit of a stir, okay? And now what we're going to do, because we turned the heat up all the way to boil it, now now that it's good, it's hot, the rice is in here, it's ready to go. I'm going to cover it, but I'm also going to reduce the heat to a low boil. I would definitely check on this just to make sure. It probably goes for about 20 minutes, and in 20 minutes, it'll be ready. So Jarek just set the timer, and we're fine there. So now we are going to move on to what is lomo saltado. But actually, I'm going to ask my husband for a little bit of technical help. It's been hard for me to look at all the comments. Maybe Jarek is going to look at some of the comments and tell me who has the questions, who has the good comments we need to respond to.
Addison is here and she's watching.
The future president of the United States is here. Addison, welcome. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias por ser con nosotros, para estar con nosotros.
Kristen Arrington.
Thank you for being here. Oh, we have Representative Kristen Arrington has joined us.
She says she's horrible at making rice.
Okay, well, Representative Arrington, we're not gonna call you out. We're not gonna put you on the spot. Sometimes, a lot of times, actually, I screw up the rice, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big thing.
And you know what, Kristen? We've seen you dance, so you don't need to have good cooking skills with those dance moves.
Okay? Exactly. Exacto. Okay, so just a little bit about lomo saltado, because I think that this part is important. A lot of people, they go to Peruvian restaurants, and they're taken aback. Sometimes they're confused because there's a lot of Asian flair in Peruvian cuisine. So there is a reason why there's a lot of Asian flair. Because there was a lot of Chinese immigrants to Peru. A lot of them came, I believe, in the mid 18th century or so. And so what they brought with them was they brought with them obviously a lot of culture, a lot of great people, but they also brought a lot of soy sauce. And they brought a lot of rice too, which, Lomo saltado is kind of the perfect world dish that includes so many different corners of the world. Peru is obviously all over Lomo saltado, but the real Peruvian ingredient is the patatas, the papa frita, the potatoes. Potatoes are, one of the main crops in Peru. Now, I don't have Peruvian potatoes. Actually, what I've done for the French fries is I just got a bunch of frozen fries from the grocery store, and we're gonna put those in the oven,
Which
and
is
that's
which is
totally
which is
fine.
great because it speaks to his French Canadian heritage as well, right?
That's right. That's right. Les patates frites. For those who
Okay.
don't know, I am mitad mitad. Tengo herencia peruana. I am of Peruvian heritage from my dad's side. My dad was born in the jungles of Peru, specifically in Pucallpa. So tengo herencia peruana, I have Peruvian heritage. And on my mom's side, del lado de mi madre, soy francesa canadiense. I am half French Canadian. So there's a lot going on right here. I know, but I try to stick to my roots, so to speak. Okay, so the dish, the potatoes are the Peruvian part. The beef is actually the Spaniard part, because when the Spaniards came to South America, they brought with them, the idea of being able to breed cows and use cows for meat. And so this is like really an all corners of the world type dish. So I'm really excited. But I think what we're going to do next is before we start the stir fry, I'm going to actually pass it over to Jarek. And Jarek is going to go ahead and he's going to chop the onions. You can chop the onions really any way you want. In restaurants, you see them in big wedges because I think it looks nicer. I personally prefer to chop the onions, like to dice them, because I don't like the big onions. I like the onion flavor, but I don't like biting into the onion. So it's really up to you on how you want to do that. So, baby, if you want to get started on the chopping, yes, and I can give you the earpiece. Here you
Okay,
are.
good.
We're sharing ear.
That's right. Can
All right,
can
so
they?
I'm moving out of the way, and where do you want to do the chopping?
Yeah. Can you all hear me?
I'm gonna make sure that
I
they can hear you.
Can you all hear me? Yeah.
They can hear you. Let's just assume they can hear
Yay!
you. There we go. Okay, so Jarek is getting started with his chopping, and actually, I'm going to be filming him directly.
So there are
Hello.
hi, there are several ways that you can actually, mince or dice onions. I for starters, I like to cut off the edges first, right? And make sure. I think this is very important. Make sure that you have a really good knife. Sometimes people struggle chopping onions, and they're like, "Oh, I hate it," but you need a really good um, knife. Okay, so just make sure. Okay, just let's take these skin off a little bit. So we're using a red onion. Can we do white onion, baby? Can we do white onion?
Sorry, I'm just over here drinking while Jarek is preparing. So yes, you can you can do white onion instead of a red onion. I think the red onion actually brings a little bit more flavor. So if you have a white onion, I guess that's fine. But I've always used a red onion. Pero hay muchos peruanos que están aquí mirando.
Yeah.
Si ustedes tienen alguna idea, si ustedes saben si es mejor para usar un red onion or un white onion, déjalo ahí en los comments, okay? Let us know if you think that the red onion... Okay, so my prima Wendy, she says the red onion is better, which is what I suspected.
Mm-hmm.
Gracias, Wendy. And I know that there's a lot of Peruvians watching, so we'll keep looking for feedback. Gracias, Wendy. Okay, all right. So Jarek is continuing here.
A mí, yo prefiero la cebolla roja también. I prefer the red onion as well. So I like to cut it in half first because I want to show you two different ways that you can like dice and chop the onions. So on this half, what you can do, which is the one we're doing for the dish, is that this half, you can cut it in another half, like this. And then I like to do these like sideways cuts. Do you see the skill there? Do you see the skill there? Huh? See, and then
I see the skill.
And then and there it is. This is all perfect because onions, they're gonna peel off. They're gonna start breaking down in the stir fry, which is great. So we can go ahead and put this in a bowl. Okay. They're gonna bring the onion always brings so much flavor. If you make it in the rice, in anything you make, it's amazing. So here's another way that you can dice the onions if you want to bring it closer to the onion. If you want to bring the camera closer to the onion. So one thing that I like to do is that you see how I'm making a cut, but I am not going all the way back. I just like to do this because I'm keeping it controlled.
Ahí está.
We're keeping it controlled, and then we're going to use this cut like this. You see that? Almost like we're making like an onion blossom, right? And then once you get here,
Josh Bell está preguntando. Josh Bell is asking, how are you not crying?
Well, this is the thing. If you treat the onion well, it will not make you cry. That's the secret, Josh. And see, so we diced it, and look at this.
You see?
Look at this.
See? How lucky am I? How lucky am I to be married to this man? I am very lucky.
And see, we have two different types of onions here, and they're not making you cry. And we did this in how long? A minute? It's just so easy.
I think Josh feels attacked. He says, so it's my fault then.
Yes, you need to learn.
Krista said, wow, this is an onion dicing game changer. Thank you,
Jared. All right, so here we have two different kinds of onions that we're going to use for this stir fry.
Yes.
Isn't it great?
Yes, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. Okay, back to me. This is the life of being married to a politician. Back to me. All right, I am putting you back in the tripod here. I reset my phone for like 2 seconds. My bad. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the fries in the oven. Trade secret: if you're too lazy, by the way, this is what I consider to be work, is putting fries in the oven. If you're even lazier than that, you can just go to McDonald's and get 2 large fries and just put them on the side and be ready to use them at the very end. Actually, that is what my dad taught me. The way to cheat the system and game the system is to just go to McDonald's and order 2 fries and bring them home and have them be ready for this thing. Okay, so I'm putting the fries in the oven. Just follow whatever the directions are.
What's the temperature?
Don't burn them. It's 425. Just follow the directions in the back. It's really not that hard. All right.
Am I reaching for the stars here?
Are we reaching for the stars? We really don't need you to mess this up. It's just French fries, but let's not mess it up because I often leave them in the oven for too long and then they come out and they're like extremely hard and disgusting. All right. So I just want to do we have any more than this garlic? Because I think I may have overused the garlic and I don't know.
Oh, we have garlic cloves. Yeah.
By the way, I like to just buy the jars of garlic because it's so much easier. I mean, you can cut the garlic, and that's fine, and you can do all of that. But I just realized that we have an emergency. There is nowhere near enough garlic in here, and so Jarek has some backup real clothes that's like legitimate. So he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna chop some cloves for us while I look at people and I respond to their comments. Okay.
And actually, one of the things I do, this is for Krista as well. She was saying that this was a game changer for her. One thing that I like to do, I know that you can't see it from here, but one thing that I like to do with garlic cloves is that I just use the wide part of the knife and just give it a hit like that, and then it chops it like this, and that I dice it. You see, and it's very easy, just like that. And we have garlic, minced garlic.
Okay, refilling the wine just so that everyone knows, because that's how everything works in our kitchen. Okay, looking at the comments, Jarek's headset is making it hard to hear Carlos. Okay, no, thank you for that. So, let me see what we're gonna say next.
Just use mine. Just take this one. It's fine. I'm talking more anyway.
I'm hoping that everyone can hear me because we just switched to iPods. So, okay, comments. Carlos, did I hear you say you use too much garlic? No such thing. Listen, Shay, this is what I've been saying. There is no such thing as too much garlic. But what I meant was my jar is almost empty, and I may have put too much garlic in the rice. But it's okay because we have backup. We have actual garlic cloves, and Jarek is chopping those right now. I see that my other prima, Veronique in Montreal, is watching. Yes, that is great. It is good to see you. Hello. Addison, this should be a weekly thing. I love cooking with Carlos and Jarek. Thank you so much, Addison. Okay, let me look at some of these more comments. More garlic. Let's see. I think that's good. Actually, I think that's a good amount of garlic. Thank you, baby. Okay. Let's see. I think I am good on responding to most of what you've said. You all are amazing. Thank you so much for watching. This is great. Okay, so you're probably wondering, when are we going to cut to the chase? When are we going to start cooking? Well, we're getting there, okay? So calm down. Let me see here. I'm just going to turn on the stove. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask right now, and this is very nerve-wracking. I've never done anything like this in front of this many people. There's 37 people watching, and I feel like I'm going to freak out. Okay, so what should we do next? The fries are in there.
The rice is cooking.
The cloves are chopped. All right, so I'm just going to go straight to the ingredients.
I want you to talk about these ingredients, especially.
Listen, I am really bad at remembering everything about cooking. You see this piece of paper here? I think that I've had this piece of paper, which is my Lomo saltado recipe, which of course I got from my dad. Gracias, Papa. I think I've had this piece of paper for 20 years, okay? which is why it's a little rundown. But I also want to, and we're going to post this. We're going to post this on the event later so that you have a full list of ingredients if you want them. The ingredients are as such: 1 large red onion, 6 cloves of garlic, or much more. Tabasco sauce. I almost freaked out before we started the Facebook Live because we had some weird habanero Tabasco sauce, and I really didn't want to use the habanero. So actually, I have some Louisiana hot sauce, and I love Louisiana hot sauce, so that's fine. 1 large fry. You can make that 2 if you want to go ahead and add more French fries. 1 tomato diced. So I'm doing this the lazy way again for you all. I went ahead and I got a can of diced tomatoes, so I didn't have to chop it. I know everyone's kind of weird with ingredients. There's some versions of this dish where they tell you to get tomato grapes and they tell you to just slice the grapes in threes and then you have like these big squishy like tomato pieces. I actually don't like that, which is why I prefer the diced tomatoes in a can. That's just my preference, but you can do whatever you want. We also have 2 pounds of skirt steak. I don't know how we ended up with 2 pounds. I'm just putting a pound for now, but of course that just depends on, who is in your household and whether you want to, put more meat in there or not. Oh, there it is. Yes, I almost forgot to show. So when we go to the grocery store, what I look for, and this is really easy at Publix, because I know that there's a lot of Florida residents here. Um, Not talking about Publix's politics, but that's another conversation. Uh, so you can buy like the steak for fajitas. So they have it obviously in the beef aisle. It's stir fry steak for fajitas. Just buy that. That's like the consistency of steak that I think is best for this. So that's where I go. And then we also got a bag of culantro. Culantro. And actually, Jarek
Yep.
can tell us the difference between culantro, which is what we have here, smells delicious, and cilantro. What's the difference?
Yeah, and what's interesting is that they have very similar names because they are very similar plants. They are basically a grass, but these have like longer leaves. And in Puerto Rico, we call this, you know it all, my Boricua people, this is recao. This is what they use. We don't use cilantro. Cilantro is more used in like Central America and Mexico, but in the Caribbean, in Cuba, in the Dominican Republic, in Puerto Rico, we use recao, which is called culantro in the States.
So you just got an education. On cilantro versus culantro. Baby, would you mind opening this, the red wine vinegar? What's crazy is I've made this dish 100 times, but I had to check myself and I was doubting myself before we started this Facebook Live. I Googled it and I found all of these different versions of Lomo saltado that had all of these other ingredients. And I didn't want to change our recipe, but I was intrigued. One of the recipes that I found online called for red wine vinegar, and I've never tried that, but I decided to buy
Why
it
not?
tonight and just try it.
Right? Why not?
So, okay. Mi amor, can you help me with comments because I feel like people are going nuts right now and I need to pay attention to what they're saying.
Actually, I see Leticia from Kissimmee. She says hi.
Hey, Leticia, how are you?
And
Oh, I see Fred's comment. It says less Carlos, more Jarek. That's our very good friend, Fred Potvin. Fred,
love you, Booze.
GFY. You know what I mean.
I,
Love you,
I
mean
think
it.
everybody knows what you mean.
Love you, mean it. Okay. So this is all ready. I think I'm actually now ready to start preparing. So let me get in the zone here because we're about to heat some olive oil. I'm going to throw some olive oil in the wok because the wok is what makes this lomo saltao because we know the wok is a very Asian cooking instrument, which we love.
We can use another type of pan anyway, right?
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, we can use a different type of pan, but the wok is just great for stir fry. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the wok. So here's what my ingredients say: heat 4 tablespoons of oil on high heat. Add meat and garlic or whatever your protein is, and then the soy sauce. And I'll remind you what the amount of the soy sauce is for about 8 minutes until the meat is rare. Then we add the onions to the pan and we cook that until it's tender. And then we add the tomatoes, we simmer it for a few more minutes, and then we add the fries, we mix and serve. So let's do this, y'all.
Can I pour the oil the way my mom uh,
How
taught
does
me?
how does she pour the
Well,
oil?
how many tablespoons? Four.
It says 4 tablespoons.
4 tablespoons of oil. This is how my mom in Puerto Rico would do it, and I know
Dale,
a lot of your
dale.
moms would relate. This is how you do it.
I mean, that's how
And
I
that's
do
it.
it.
And that's
Right.
it. That's
I
it.
mean, if you want to like use a little measuring spoon, you can, but just glug it. Just glug it. It's like 4 glugs and it's fine. Okay, next what we're doing is we're gonna put the meat and we're gonna put the garlic. Actually, mi amor, what would be really helpful, I just want people to see what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
because right here the
Of course.
vantage point is more me and less food. So if you want to take the phone out of its tripod, we're just going to go ahead and let you take over. Hey, everyone. I'm so glad that you're still here. Okay, so what we're doing next is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the meat and the soy sauce and the garlic. I'm putting the garlic in first. Let me turn this down so that it doesn't kill me when I throw it in there. Yeah, we're going to put that too, but I'm just going to empty this jar. I'm just going to empty this jar. I'm just going to put it all in here.
Get it all in there.
I'm using my fingers. That's fine. We're at home. No one cares. Okay. I don't know if anything more is coming out of there. So we're going to use... Okay. We're going to use this garlic here. Going to dump that in there. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the meat. All right. So obviously you want to pay attention to how do you want your meat cooked. Do you want it medium? Do you want it medium rare?
Margarita Muriel says the garlic will burn if you don't hurry.
I know, I'm on it. I'm trying. Listen, I'm really trying here. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna start, putting this in here now, and we're actually gonna do the soy sauce in a minute.
There's something that we just did. I don't know if you heard earlier. The timer went off, and at that time,
Are the fries ready?
I took the rice out of the stove, so it's there and it's already cooked. But we're not gonna take out the lid, so the steam keeps like cooking it a little bit more.
So let's talk about soy sauce versus Aminos.
Oh yeah, that's
okay?
right. Mm-hmm. So for those who are watching their sodium consumption, soy sauce, it's usually, it has a lot of content of sodium. In my case, where I like to use more health-related or healthy ingredients, I use liquid aminos. You can find these anywhere now. A few years ago, this was very hard to find, but now, thank God, it's all very common. So they are a soy protein seasoning, and I use it as a substitute for soy sauce. And it has much less sodium, but it doesn't change the flavor of the dishes.
And he's right. Jarek uses aminos all the time for less sodium. I'm still not entirely clear on, the difference between the aminos and low sodium soy sauce. So for now, I'm just going to use the low sodium soy sauce. And this calls for, it says, my ingredients say soy sauce. Be liberal. Okay. Well, that is not hard for me because I am very liberal. I am to the left of soy sauce. So
Tu prima Wendy says that you need the ají amarillo.
Oye, pero el ají amarillo, yo no sé si lo necesito porque cuando mi papá está cocinando el lomo saltado, él nunca usa el ají amarillo. Pero tienes razón, Wendy. I saw ají amarillo on many ingredients. It's just not part of my dad's recipe for some reason. But maybe, prima, maybe I've been doing it wrong all of these years. So no tenemos ají amarillo, pero la próxima vez lo vamos a usar ají amarillo y nos vamos a ver si ese funciona. Pero, Wendy, una pregunta. Is the ají amarillo really about just bringing the spice to the dish? Because what we are going to use is we're going to use Louisiana hot sauce, and I think that's going to add a lot of the spice. So
that makes sense.
This might be the cheating
right.
On the ají amarillo. We're just going to use the hot sauce. And that's gonna work. So I've put the soy sauce in here. Ya tenemos el soy sauce, el garlic, el lomo, the steak right here. Everything is together. I'm turning up the heat a little bit more. And Jarek, actually, if you want to get the fries out, the fries are ready. Fries are ready. I hope we didn't overcook them.
Ooh,
yeah. So if you can, let's turn this off. I'm gonna turn this off, but actually take them out because I'm worried the fries are gonna burn in there. So hopefully they won't be like hard pieces. Okay, I'm gonna get out of your way so that you can grab it. Okay, no, they're good.
Ooh,
I think they're good. Sizzling.
Yes.
We'll just leave this out there. Okay, next. Okay, next ingredient, we're gonna do the onions. We're gonna add the onions to the pan because what you don't want to do is you don't want to cook the meat all the way through because there's still lots of stir fry happening. So you don't want really overcooked meat. So actually, we're gonna add the onions, la cebolla.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, ustedes saben que español no es mi primer idioma, so a veces yo no recuerdo cuáles son las palabras,
Pero lo estás haciendo bien, lo estás haciendo muy
pero
bien.
Jarek es un maestro de español. Muy bien. So gracias, Jarek. Okay, so we're putting the onions in here. And next, what we're going to do after the onions is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the tomatoes and we're going to let it simmer. Now, this is the point where you got to figure out, do you like juicy tomatoes? Do you like your lomo saltado like more liquidy, or do you like it more dry? I'm kind of somewhere in between. So I just added the can of diced tomatoes, and sometimes, depending on the size of the dish, I'll put two cans of tomatoes. But for this one, because we're making enough for two people right now with a little bit of leftovers, but this is not like a huge family dish for 5 or 6 people. So, if you're making for much more, obviously you're going to want to double the ingredients. Okay, so while we're waiting for the wok to heat up a little bit more and start to simmer all of the ingredients together, which it will in just a couple moments.
Do we cover it or do we leave it like that?
I usually just leave it like that, but that's because I don't think I have a cover that matches this wok.
I do. If you need it, I can find it for you.
Okay, I'm also checking the rice because I want to make sure the rice is okay. I'm not sure. All right, so I'm just coming here for a taste.
Are you ready for the burn? Fred says that you cooked this for him once and it was delicious, and you never cooked it again. So you only get one.
Fred, I did. I think I made lomo saltado for Fred maybe when I was living in Atlanta. Possibly. Okay, the rice is good. It's soggy the way that I like it. It's not as soggy, so maybe I should have added just a little bit more water, but it's still good. I'm just setting the rice aside over here because presentation is also important. And what's crazy is whenever I serve lomo saltado, I always just throw everything on top of the rice and the French fries. Let me try a fry. All right, they're not overcooked. One of the dangers, by the way, of cheating with the fries and going to McDonald's and getting 2 large fries, the reason you're getting 2 is because you will eat 1 large fry before the dish is ready.
You only need one.
You really only need 1, but like the McDonald's fries are sitting there and like people just eat them. I used to go right.
Behind camera.
Jarek is doing that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of the red wine vinegar because I saw it in an ingredient, and I don't know how much they were asking for, but I'm just gonna put a couple glugs. And
I want everybody right now that are watching this, I want you all to go to the bottom of your screen and scroll to the app so you can get a whiff of what's happening here. There's an app there. You can download it. I'm totally kidding. I just wish that you could be here. This smells delicious.
Well, Jarek likes to watch a lot of different Instagram accounts that are cooked. So he's living his best life now by doing a live cooking thing. Okay, so actually, this doesn't really need much more time. In fact,
so is this the right consistency? Like this is, or is this a little bit liquidy for your taste?
I mean, it's a little more liquidy than I'm used to. But imagine that I didn't even put the second can,
right,
the second can of tomatoes.
The lid out so it evaporates, right? The liquid can evaporate.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. But also, what's happened to me in the past is it is very easy to overcook the beef. It's really easy to cook it too much, and then it's like hard and tough. So I just turn the heat down.
Just like I'm looking at this image right here, and do you want to talk about your apron?
Yes. So this apron, you're probably looking at this apron thinking, "Oh my God, that is the gayest apron I've ever seen." You're not wrong, but every day in the state capitol, or every session in the state capitol, we have a Lilly Pulitzer Day, where every legislator and every member of staff, if they want to, wears a Lilly Pulitzer patterned outfit. Sometimes it's jackets, sometimes it's scarves. And my former Republican colleague, former Representative Heather Fitzenhagen, I think with former Representative Holly Rashine, they gave me this apron as a gift for Lilly Pulitzer Day. Who knew? Republican lawmakers give me gifts all the time. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, so this is almost done. You like that. You like that.
Good looking.
And you have to ask me about my tank top underneath, but I'm not showing you that until the very end.
Right. I will ask you later.
Okay, so we're basically near the finish line. And baby, what I've got to figure out is how to do this. Remember?
Oh, I'll do that.
How to do this. Because we're pretty much done. Actually, I'm just gonna have a little bite of the steak because I'm worried that it's overcooked.
How is it?
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Well, it's in that liquid. It's like making friends with all those ingredients there, and it's amazing.
They're all making friends. They're all having fun. And the very last ingredient that we can't forget, because I'm almost forgetting, and I usually put this at the end because I don't want the Tabasco to be like watered down. I just put a few glugs of Louisiana hot sauce, and we're also.
So it could be Tabasco.
It's Tabasco or that, or what is the ingredient, Wendy? The ají, what is it?
Ají amarillo.
The ají amarillo. You can use that too. I'm not going to put the cilantro in here because it's still simmering, and if I put the culantro, not the cilantro, the culantro, if I put this in here now, it's gonna wilt, and it's gonna lose a lot of its flavor.
It happens the same with basil, right? If you put basil way too early
That's right.
when you're cooking, you're going to lose the flavor. So you want to leave those herbs for the very end.
Exacto. And I just want to try just to kind of taste how spicy it is, if it is spicy.
So the same order of this cooking I can do with my tofu, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the lomo saltado. We did it with the lomo, the steak, but you can do it with chicken. You do it with the chicken, that's pollo saltado. And actually, I've made tofu saltado before as well. But the thing with tofu that I've learned, I don't cook it a lot, but I've been cooking it more because I'm married to Jarek, and he's a pescatarian. is that it's really hard to overcook tofu. Tofu is too often undercooked. Like most people like their tofu thicker, they like it crispier, they like it better done because that gives it better consistency, better texture. And so with tofu, you're gonna want to overcook the tofu so that it has a better.
Right. If you want it,
Right.
some people like this like cheesy texture. It's like cheese. But
I don't like that.
we like it. We like it crispy, and in my case, I like to marinate the tofu using liquid aminos first for like 30 minutes, and then the tofu will really soak in all that flavor.
Okay, well the wine is like now almost frozen, so I have to take the wine out of the freezer now, otherwise it's gonna completely freeze over.
Brian Scott McDougal says, "Hi, Carlos."
Brian, how's it going, my brother? This is great. So here's the thing about lomo saltado. Actually, the presentation, it really just depends on the person. Whenever I go to the restaurant and I order lomo saltado, it comes out on a plate, and it's not all mixed together. Everything's separate. A lot of times when I go to the restaurant, the plate comes out, and it's fries on one side of the plate, rice on another side of the plate, and then the stir fry on this other side of the plate. Everything's separate. I don't like that. What I like to do is I like to put a bed of rice. You're laughing right now, so I don't even know. People are probably making ridiculous comments. But what I like to do is put a bed of rice, then put the fries, and then pour the stir fry over it. And as you can see, I was worried about there being like too much liquid, but that's actually good because now we can like spoon the liquid over
Yeah, you
everything.
can decide how much you want.
But tonight, I wanted to do the thing where we like smush the rice in this little.
Before we do that, one thing that I like to do when I have this dish
Yeah.
is I like to sprinkle it with a little bit of liquid aminos. This is for Fred. Yes, I don't own any stocks, but I love it. I just love it.
So we're pretty much ready to present, but
You can take it.
yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and take this. And I think what we should do now is we should go ahead and just get the plates, because what we're going to do is we're going to smush the rice in there, because we do want to have the rice separate, and we're going to separate it because it looks prettier. As I just explained, I prefer when it's a bed of rice with fries on top and then the stir fry on top. I like that. But it doesn't look that pretty. It looks like a big old mess. So instead, I think that's why they do it at the restaurant. Everything's separate because it looks so pretty. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna switch this over to Jarek, and he's gonna show us how to put everything in the little. This is easy, but I didn't even know how to do this.
It's really easy, and it depends on how much rice you want. We're using this like half a cup mold. We just put it here. Presentation, it's important.
I'm actually going to take my AirPods out so that they can hear both of us really well. Okay, I think everyone can hear both of us really well. I'm hoping.
Well,
Margarita Muriel says, I'm buying your cookbook. Muchísimas gracias, Margarita. And I see our old neighbor Mandy just put a yummy emoji.
And you know
Ooh, this looks like soggier than I thought it was going to be. That's good.
You know what's interesting? If sometimes sometimes when you're salting the rice, sometimes it's undersalted, sometimes it's a lot of salt. If it's undersalted, this is for Fred. You know what you can do?
Aminos, baby, aminos.
Sprinkle a little bit more of aminos in it.
Yes, aminos, baby.
This is how we're doing it. See?
Yeah, and should we put it in the middle or should we put it on the side?
Wherever you want.
I think we can put it on the side. Put it on a corner. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna do it on the corner, and then Oh my God, that's perfect. Okay. And why don't we do a second one and put the second one in the second plate, and then we'll serve ourselves and we'll show everyone exactly what we've created.
Mine would be with tofu though.
Okay, so back to me. So I see that it is 9:04. I think we started the Facebook around 8:10. It actually does not take this long to cook this. It does not. But the reason it took this long is because, y'all had a lot of comments, and I was certainly trying to respond to them.
I'm sure
We've been very chatty.
I'm sure they're all very.
We've been drinking wine, so this certainly extended the process. But this is where we are, and I want to say, because we're getting near the end. Fred dice no responsabilidad. Sí, no tenemos responsabilidad porque no estamos manejando. Oh yes, and I almost forgot to put the culantro. The culantro is there, and actually, you can go ahead and dump the culantro. Well, how about you leave a quarter of the culantro, and mix the remaining culantro in with the rice, because that will make the rice that we have left over. We have a lot of leftover rice, culantro rice. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so now the culantro is in here, and we're gonna make a plate, because we're gonna cook some tofu separately, so that Jarek can have his, not in the show, but so that Jarek can have his meal. Okay.
When do we add the fries?
Back to me.
Do we add the fries now, or?
So if you're okay, all right. So if you're going to put the fries in there, I like to put this over the fries, and like.
Oh, so we serve the fries first.
But
here?
We're doing it the way they do in the restaurant. Mm-hmm. We're doing it the way they do in the restaurant, where everything's separate. So we're gonna put the fries on one side, and we're gonna put the lomo saltado on the other side, and then the rice on the other side. And we are coming near the end here. So Jarek is making this amazing plate. Yes! I am loving this. This is amazing.
Is that okay?
This is great.
Okay.
And now we're gonna And now we're gonna maybe grab a spoon. Maybe. So many options. I don't even know where to go. Yes, I mean, you can put all this on the side. Yes. Oh, this is it right here. This is it. Don't give me more, otherwise I'm going to, be a giant fat pig. Okay. Look at this. Oh, my God. I am loving this. So, y'all, this is lomo saltado. And the literal translation of lomo saltado is it's stir-fried beef, right? Saltado is like a stir-fry.
Right.
Okay? So this is what we have.
Let me add a little bit of Asian flair. Just a little bit.
Okay, he's what is he putting? What is he putting on here? Oh, yes, you're putting the seeds on there. What kind of seeds are those?
These are black sesame seeds.
Black sesame seeds, making it even more Asian than it was before.
That's right.
Even more, yes. Omar says, "Perfect, Chef Maria Villa."
I mean, I grew up in this, so I'm only enjoying. And again, if you could only smell, this smells amazing. I love the touch of the tomatoes. Like, for some reason, when I think of lomo saltado, I think of Asian food, like an Asian stir fry. But the tomato gives it such like a new world flavor, and it smells amazing. I love it.
I think the whole thing is amazing, and I'm really excited. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching this, because this is pretty much it. This is what we have created. The lomo saltado, you can make it too. I'm going to be putting lots of posts in the Facebook event. Nos vamos a poner más información acerca de cómo se puede preparar este dish, right? Porque este plato es muy popular. Es muy popular no solamente con los peruanos, pero con toda la gente, con todos los hispanos. This is not just popular with Peruvians. This is really a popular dish with a lot of Hispanics. I know a lot of people like to go to La Granja and get the lomo saltado that they have at La Granja, which is actually really good too. And so I'm really excited about this. And I know that Jarek is going to want to grab a video of me holding this plate. So I'm going to hand this over to him. And, you know, we're going to get this wonderful image of me with the lomo saltado, prepared with mucho amor, mucho cariño, with lots of support from the rest of you too. Of course, where's my wine? Where's my wine? This has been wonderful. It has been really great hanging out with you all. And what we're going to be doing is actually it's going to be time to eat. And I know that you all are going to enjoy this dish just as much as I enjoy this dish. So, buen provecho. Enjoy your lomo saltado when you make it. And thank you so much for joining us.
And see you Saturday, everyone.
See you Saturday at Pride. Nos vemos el sábado at Pride in Orlando. Come out with pride. We will see you there.